Thank you for joining us today. And obviously we have a lot of support here for higher education, and I'm pleased to be joined today by Secretary Johnny Key of the Department of Education. Also have Chancellor Chuck Ambrose, Chancellor at Henderson State University. We have Dean Dr. Shane Spites of New York Institute of Technology, the Medical School at Arkansas State University, and we have others. We have Steve Rook here, Chancellor at ASU Three Rivers. We have also the chairperson of the Arkansas State University Board of Trustees, Christy Clark, Bishop Robert Rudolph, and Steve Eddington, both members of the Board of Trustees as well. With that, I want to start this off by saying today that I wanted to express my full confidence, my support, and excitement about the future of Henderson State University. And the reason I have this confidence is because we have the leadership that's present here that's worked hard to right the ship, to put Henderson State on a good path, and I have confidence in its future. I also want to say that I have confidence because tough decisions have been made. These are tough decisions that have not been easy. They have been painful. And obviously we have compassion for those that happen to cut back on their hours or have lost their employment. But this was necessary for the survival of Henderson State University. And those were necessary but tough decisions. And because those tough decisions have been made, I know Senator English is here representing the legislature and others, that they have confidence as well, because we all wanted to see Henderson State University succeed, but we also wanted to see it done in a financially sound manner. And Dr. Ambrose has made tough decisions. He has my support in the decisions he's made. I also have confidence because of the support of Arkansas State University system. And whenever we looked at the challenges that Henderson State had, I was grateful that Dr. Chuck Welch and the Arkansas State University system stepped up and said, we'll provide overarching services, guidance, and that has strengthened Henderson State University. It also has great partnership with the State Board of Education, and Secretary Key, of my comments, has been very engaged in this. The most important reason I have confidence in Henderson State University and excited about its future is that it has a singular focus on student success. And they have focused on making college education more affordable, to make it more successful, and to make it more engaged going through the lower grades all the way up to grad school. And Henderson State University provides that vehicle, pathway from the students in high school where they can get credits to the pathway into higher education and beyond in grad school. And Henderson State is challenging the students for that lifelong commitment to education, that success path. And a key part of it is its partnership with industry to make sure that we're creating skilled talent, we're creating a workforce, we're creating graduates that can enter the workforce with skills that they need to be successful in their community. And so I'm very proud of Henderson State University, its transition, its pivot, its foundation for success in the future. And I want to recognize Secretary Johnny Key for his comments and an expression of appreciation for his partnership and support for Henderson State.
Thank you, Governor. The success of Henderson is very personal and important to me. In 1978, a young mother from Gurdon received the Virginia Wilmuth Early Childhood Education Scholarship, went on to finish her degree in 2 years and taught for 31 years after that, and that young mother was my mother. So the success of Henderson is critical to so many other family stories, just like mine. I would not be what I am today without the role that Henderson played with preparing my mother to go out and teach for 31 years. And today we have the opportunity to partner with Henderson State University in reimagining what education can look like in the future. How it should look 10 years from now is very different from what it has looked like in the past. And today we take an important step with confidence in that direction, and I appreciate the partnership and leadership of Dr. Ambrose and the whole team at Henderson State University. When we think about a student success model that's really centered on preparing students for what they are going to face in the future, but not just preparing them for the workforce, but preparing them to be adaptable to the changing nature of our society, the changing nature of our economy, the changing nature of what their jobs may look like in the future, and what contributions that they will be able to bring to our communities across the state. A 21st century workforce development requires students to demonstrate not just what they know, but what they can do. We hear that from employers all the time. And we are going to work to build that K-12 and beyond to K-16 and into those higher learning opportunities for the learning pathways that provide to education and experiences to build those competencies, to build that knowledge for Southwest Arkansas, but not just for Southwest Arkansas, but for the entire state. And I appreciate Dr. Ambrose coming to us, seeking partnerships with the Department of Education, and we look forward to building those out over the next several years. Dr. Ambrose.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Governor Hutchinson and Secretary Key. Henderson State is prepared to take a giant leap forward in student success thanks to partnerships that will gain the support of the Arkansas Department of Education, area school districts, the Arkadelphia community, and our Arkansas State University system colleagues, as well as our close friends and neighbors across the street, Ouachita Baptist. We know an educational ecosystem in a community like that can make a difference. And as we work together, we not only will meet the 21st workforce needs, but working together, we can actually lower the cost of college. We can accelerate the time it takes for students to get their degrees. We can eliminate the skills gap so a college degree makes you workforce ready, and we can mitigate the use of student loan debt to pay. Henderson has made necessary spending cuts to restore our fiscal integrity. We've improved our cash position, and we are building a sustainable strategic resource allocation model. But just as important is the reallocation of financial resources to build personalized student pathways and support so college completion is available for all students. We are creating an I-30 learning community from Saline County to Arkadelphia, including K-12 partners, Arkansas State University 3 Rivers, Saline County Career Technical Campus, and Henderson State University. Through this learning community, we will develop personalized learning plans for students designed with scaffold support for student success driven by the efforts made by K-12 and the Arkansas Department of Education and secondary schools across the state. Working with Arkansas State University 3 Rivers to expand workforce development opportunities and create expanded degree and non-degree training will happen on our campus in Clark County. Expanding credentials, licensures, degree offerings for students in this I-30 learning community through partnerships, Henderson State will work directly with Arkansas State University Jonesboro, all the sister two-year campuses, and the New York Institute of Technology, College of Osteopathic Medicine to create pathways to high-demand jobs and meeting the needs of our communities. Our collective efforts will require both policy and practice, and we will fundamentally redefine who our students are. We will value our traditional students, our graduate students, but we will also include high school students who are being able to accelerate their credentials and being recognized for the learning that they're making along their pathways. And the ongoing educational opportunities focused on adult learners, many who have some college and no degree, but believe with college that new opportunities are possible. We will look a little different than higher education around the state, and that's okay. We are committed to opening the doors of access and opportunity, focusing on completion, mobilizing a learning community that builds seamless pathways from school to work, and prepare students to be career ready in the high demand fields that enable our communities to be sustainable and to provide social mobility for all the students that we serve. Thank you, Governor Hutchinson, Secretary Key, and your colleagues at the department. The resources around this room from the Arkansas University State System have been ready-made for us, on call to do things that we could not do by ourselves. And we're surrounded by these partners. By working together, we will create opportunities that better serve our students and create a college that works for all. And one of our graduates who we're most grateful for and proud of, an Arkadelphia native, is Shane Spite, the Dean of the Medical School at New York Institute of Technology. Shane?
Thank you, Dr. Ambrose, and I appreciate the ability to give a few comments on behalf of the New York Institute of Technology, College of Osteopathic Medicine. Just briefly to pick up on the thread that Secretary Key started, my mother also graduated from Henderson State Teacher College and was a teacher for several decades there in Arkadelphia. My father played football, and as you've heard, I attended Henderson State University with a business degree is what I graduated with, and then attended Arkansas State University for my pre-med requirements before going to medical school. Now that is an innovative approach to becoming a medical school dean if there ever were one. And so we're excited to be able to partner with Henderson State and the A-State system and continue our already strong collaboration with Arkansas State to be able to move this endeavor forward. As an alumni of Henderson State, obviously I have a vested interest and a personal desire to see this program move forward effectively and efficiently. We're excited at the different possibilities we can partner with Henderson State in terms of unique opportunities for physicians to come from areas of the state where they are most needed. Here in the state of Arkansas, we struggle with a workforce shortage. We rank about 48th out of all 50 states in terms of number of physicians per capita. And so even though we have several medical schools, we want to find those students that come from the needed areas and return them back to those communities so that better health can be provided. We've also found that a more well-rounded physician is actually what is needed in today's healthcare system. Those that actually have background in public health, in population health, basis in psychology and psychiatry, and really understanding the needs of the community so they can become these servant leaders for the healthcare that's needed for tomorrow. We want to be a part of this educational ecosystem that's being started by Henderson State University, and we're excited to be collaborating with them and the entire A-State system to be able to see this endeavor move forward. It became evident to us as a medical school early on that we had to leverage technology to be able to push education further. We had to think outside of the box and remove the traditional models. Now, so true is it for higher education. We have used for many years, from the start of our medical school, we've leveraged technology where we've partnered with our, obviously, parent institution in New York to be able to leverage those resources that exist there to deliver it to students right here in Arkansas. So we're excited to be able to help and aid and see Henderson State University be able to leverage that same technology and those same innovative endeavors. Thank you.
I think with that, we'll be happy to take any questions you might have.
Can we get a little more specific?
Well, I think the purpose of this news conference is to showcase Henderson State University, its importance to our economic future, our higher education in Arkansas. And, you know, while Henderson State has gone through some financial issues in the past, we wanted to assure everyone that we believe it's on solid financial position now. We believe it is well positioned for the future, and as Dr. Ambrose said, it has a unique place. It is not necessarily the same as every other four-year college in Arkansas. It has a unique role in that its emphasis on working with the industry, working with K through 12 education, and providing that pathway of affordable education. So there's some uniqueness there. And our point is to make sure that everyone knows our confidence and believe that it's on the right path.
Is it a situation where Henderson has had a lot of problems lately? And so let's just take this example, let's just blow it up, and let's just do something totally different, and we'll be creative because why not? It's been struggling. Is that what we're doing?
I would probably rephrase that a little bit. First of all, survivability of Henderson State University was a real issue because of the financial challenges of the past. And while it's been painful in the adjustments, I realized, and Secretary Key realized, that Arkansas would be less if we did not have Henderson State University. And so the mission that it has across the state, the role that it has played historically is critical to our state. So that's part of it. The second part of it, as you have said, is you re-envision. Now that you have this opportunity to restart, to make adjustments, you make some foundational changes. And I believe that's exactly what Dr. Ambrose has done through the leadership of the board. And that is to reimagine higher education in a way that mitigates against student loan debt, that ties it to a greater extent with industry, that partners to a greater extent with our K through 12 education. And so that is unique, and I think it's exciting, and that's why I want to share that good news. And I think there's more good news to come in the future.
How crazy are we going to get? Are we going to get really creative and totally change the whole
Secretary,
four-year model?
Anything you want to add to that?
I don't know about crazy, but
Steve, I wouldn't say it's crazy. I would say that it's modernization. It's really about making college that works for students rather than creating a system that our students run into so often that they don't have that support system underneath them like maybe the students had 30, 40, 50 years ago. We know that post-secondary education of some type, whether that be a full 4-year degree or beyond, or even some level of learning that takes place at a post-secondary institution is critical for the workforce needs, for the success needs, for our family needs in the future. I mean, that's where we are right now. This is the opportunity for a very important institution like Henderson to say, let's look internally to see what changes we need to make based on what we've learned from the last 4 or 5 years where we did not meet the needs of our students. So I would say from the standpoint of the department, it's exciting to see that out of the, the depth of despair that has been at Henderson today really is, we're announcing, hey, you don't have to be worried about the future of Henderson. If you're a student and you're looking to go there, it is a place where over the next several years, you're going to have your needs met. You're going to be able to pursue the direction you want to pursue in education. And I'm really excited because we're working closely with them on their teacher ed prep program to really create what we need in South Arkansas. So, we can say things like blow it up, but that's not really what's happening. It's really re-engineering what it looks like for the future.
Could it be something in between the 2-year model or the workforce development model and the 4-year model?
Yeah, what's interesting is you ask that question. Those are silos of public education that we put in front of students. And certainly as we come through a pandemic, students are changing, learners are changing, the way they learn change. But as I mentioned, the outcomes, really the perceived value of college is tied to it costs too much, it takes too long. There's a skills gap with a degree, so I'm not quite ready to meet those 21st century demands, and we all know that we've had to package too much debt to pay. So none of us, public education, our secondary partners, our 2-year partners, and our 4-year institutions, none of us can solve for that unless we work together. And this gives us an opportunity to think more seamless. What a tremendous asset in Saline County with the career and technical campus. It's really, if you think about an educational ecosystem where all the ingredients are available to actually mitigate those 4 value statements of challenge, we have the ingredients from Saline County to Arkadelphia to work together to actually produce better outcomes at a more efficient cost.
Henderson goes through this rebranding, how is this expected to affect current students and staff?
There has been tremendous work done, and we're surrounded by our academic leadership team to bridge a transition. And without question, the first 7 months of this fiscal year or this calendar year to improve our cash position and take the steps we've had to make, it's been traumatic on a community. And it's been most difficult, I think, on our students, because no one chooses a college and wants to see their institution suffer. But this transition, working with, and again, a personalized model to really bridge our current students and their programs, as well as creating these new learning communities where meta majors align with competencies, actually provide our returning students with more opportunities than less. We've had outreach literally from every institution. I can't tell you the collegial outreach from Ouachita and their president, Ben Sells, every president in the Arkansas state system, who stand ready. And then with technology, we have tremendous system assets that actually can broaden our degree offerings and make certain that we meet the needs of our returning students that we'll utilize going into this fall semester. We don't have it all answered. This has been significant change in a very short period of time, maybe the most significant cost containment within a public, but you can't get there solely by cutting cost. And so this is a part of the re-engineering to make that transition possible.
You had mentioned, obviously, at the beginning that these cuts were necessary, and I know that when we talked back when this was first coming out, you mentioned how close to the edge Henderson was. So I'm curious to know if the confidence from the state government and the reimagining of the system here, could that have avoided all of the cuts that had to happen, or were those truly necessary in this?
Ian, that's a good question, but if you think really systemically, they're actually required to provide a sustainable model. As we talked, we could have had a very significant infusion of cash in the second half of our fiscal year, and it wouldn't have structurally reversed our deficits. There is a requirement for viability for us to reverse those trends. If not, it's just a situation where we can't charge our students enough, they can't afford to pay, they don't stay, and the cycle isn't broken. And so this is an opportunity to create a new cycle.
Those are great questions, and thank you for them. If there's additional questions, the principals here will be available afterwards, and thank you very much for your attention today. I think we've got some great students out there too, so thank you all for being here, and we're proud of you, and we look forward to seeing a great future for you. Thank you very much. Well done.